Men hvis I har nogle frågor, så skal I bare, hvis I ikke vil svare det på engelsk, så kan I bare prøve at svare det på svensk. Og så prøver vi på den måde at få det til at fungere. Ja.
Vi får lige sådan en her at kigge på. Det er vores trimguide og opsætning til, hvis man har Høj Jensen sejl. Men det er jo sådan, som vi arbejder. Så man må jo prøve at få det med i forhold til, hvad I sejler med på jeres både. Men det er en guideline for jer, så I kan se, hvordan og hvorledes. Så hvis I vil sende dem... Ja. It's a guideline how you set up your boat, how you sail your boat. But of course, it's in if you have Høj Jensen sail on the boat. So, but
you can use it as a guideline.
Yeah, it's a guideline, and use it how you like it. So, if you will pass them around.
So, what we're going to talk about here is how we're going to get the H-boat to sail a little bit faster than you normally are doing. You're doing it good, but when you are sailing the worlds next year, you will see, wow, they are really fast, the boat up in the front of the fleet. And if you're listening very good today, I promise you, you will be there also. At least I will be there, so I can help you if you're not there. But I will try. Of course, this is about all the experience I have in the H-boat, and I've been sailing it since 2007. And the beginning of the year, when I started up, it was not, it was not easy for me either. I had to work with it. I was so lucky that the H-boat is in my blood, because my father is, I don't know, everybody knows him, but some maybe know him. He's Paul Høj Jensen, and he's the guy who actually invented the H-boat as it is today. He was the first guy who won the Worlds in 80, and he was the guy that he got the H-boat from Finland to Denmark and start to develop it on Elstrom H-boat. And how it works was that the guy who made the H-boat, he likes to have a soling. And my father was building solings in Elstrom, and he said, okay, I have a very good idea. This little boat can do a hell of a good job in Denmark. So we swapped. So he got a soling, and my father got an H-boat, and he put it into the workshop, and then they start to develop how it is today, nearly. And it was so funny, 3 years ago, we had a Danish championship in my own club, and I invited my father to come and see, and third place in the Danish championship was one of his boat he had built in '74. So because we had very light wind and flat water, and they managed, and I said to my father, how can that be? He said, that is because the keel is so narrow. It was one of the fast keel I put on that boat. So even if the boat are for 74, they can still be competitors, and therefore that's why the H-boat class is so big, because you don't need new boats all the time. You can sail with old boats, and you can still be very, very competitive. So that's just a little bit about the history, why I'm sailing H-boat. I cannot sail so much more than H-boat when it's in my father's work. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of the same. Now, this here is very important when you're sailing H-boat. Actually, this side here is you should have it in your head, and it's also in the trim guide. But it's so important to get all those numbers right. If you get all those numbers right, you will have fast boat. And this angle, that is very, very important. And of course, this is set up with a spreader angle and a spreader length than 83. And some of the boats out here is probably shorter, and some of them is is not. I don't believe there's anything longer, but maybe there's one boat or whatever. But I have found out that when I have it 83, I had a good setup and I can hold my forestay. When you're sailing the H-boat, it's all about having tension on the forestay. The more tension you have on the forestay, the more you control. You sail and your up condition so it's standing more up. If you have too loose rig, your forestay will be looser and therefore the jib will be deeper and therefore you will heel over more and it will be harder on the helm and there will come a lot of other problems. So this here is very important to get the setup right, and what we discuss is the angle. You understand the angle of the spreaders when you're measuring from that point up here. It have to be 19 or 21 compare of the mast you're sailing with. And if probably most of you are sailing with a Botnia mast, some are maybe a Nordic mast, and then the new mast we have now is John mast. And John mast and Nordic mast are the same mast. He bought the company and so on. So when I'm sailing with a John mast and I have 21 on my angle here. And why it's so important that angle here is because when it's not so much in heavier condition, it's more in lighter condition, because you need to have a pre-bend in the mast. The mast have to pre-bend so the mainsail get flat. It's made. You can see it on the here. This is the pre-bend, and you have to have about 4 centimeters or 3 centimeters pre-bend in the mast in light conditions, or else the boat will not work. If you are sailing with my mainsail, if you have other mainsails on, maybe the setup can work. I will have a look at it if we have time to look at the sails. But mostly, this is how you get your H-boat to sail fast, is to get the spreader angle right. When I start up sailing the H-boat, I was phoning up by the guy who was building him, a Finnish guy called Jyrki Lindström. He phoned me up and said, "Claus, I want to sail the Danish Championship. Will you come and helm the boat?" I said, "I have no experience of helming H-boats, but of course I will try my best." And he comes down to a place called Assens, and that was the first Danish Championship I ever did, and that was in 2006. And I went on the boat, and he was doing all the settings in the boat because he had been sailing H-boat for many, many years. And in the end, we won the Danish Championship. I said, "This is fantastic. I would like to go into this class." So I bought the boat from him because he just won the Danish Championship. And then I started up in 2007 with the same boat and sailed the first ranking race, and I ended up 17. The boat was not moving at all. I couldn't understand. I just sailed it last year. So we start to work with the boat. So what the problem was that Jyrki didn't told me, but he has taken the angle of in Nordic mast that time we have an angle with the spreader, and he has taken that bar out and put another one in. So we only have 17 centimeters at angle, and he didn't tell me. And he took the other one that was 21 and put it in the other mast to his other boat. he could just have told me, but he didn't. So we did 1 year where we were testing, and in the end we found out what the problem was. And in 2008 I got it changed, and I won the first World Championship in 2008 in Finland. So it helps a lot to have the right angle here. And it's standing in the trim guide how you do it, but it's just to put a jog cord across here, and then you measure in. And now it's a little bit technical. How do I find that number? How it's the right number? But if you have where you have your uppers in the boat, and you make a straight line between the 2 points, and you measure from the middle into the mast, you will get a 17 centimeters or 18 centimeters. Compare how you have your forestay, your J point. But that is how you do it. Then you have 17 there, and you have to have 4 centimeters higher, then the mast will go forward. If you have 17 in the bottom and 17 with the spreaders up here, the mast will have 0 point. So the mast will not go forward, the mast will not go back, it will just go down. And therefore you have a very loose forestay because the mast is not pre-bending to tighten up the forestay. And if you have a less, if you have only 15 here, the mast will go that way. That will go. So there you have if you are sailing with that, you have a complete other setup with a mainsail with no luff curve in it. So it's very important to the mast. But you have still a lot of problem with the forestay. So what we have done is that we have measured in my boat, I have 17 in the bottom and I have 21 in the top. And we found out with a lot of sailing, and that is the right angle to have it. And that is also when you measure the heel of the mast, you have to have 10 here, up here, 10, 31. And that is when you are measuring that number there, you have to have this on your uppers and lowers. Or else you will have a lower number there. If you use this setup, you have 32. If you use this setup, you have 30, because the mast is going forward. So I'm normally setting it up to light winds setup, and then I measure the heel of the mast. If it's not 10:31, I will screw a little bit on the forestay and tighten up, and then we will get it right or not. But that is, of course, you cannot. Nearly all the boats in Denmark are sailing with this number now. So I believe that you can do the same in your boats. So you have an idea how much heel you have to have on the mast. Yes?
Yeah, it's such exact numbers, but I was thinking, is it inside the stays or outside the stays? When you put your shock cord. On the spreaders here. Yeah, if you put it outside or inside the...
It's in the back.
Yeah.
So it's before you put up the mast.
Yeah.
Before you put up the mast, you have this line between where the uppers are going through. Yeah. You have the chock cord there, and then you measure into the mast.
Yeah. But the stay, I mean, if you have the stay here, you have the spreader here, you can either put it here or here.
Yeah, but it's in the back.
It's 4 millimeters difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's in the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a silly question. How are the spreaders fixed when they reach the mast?
Yeah. They are fixed, so they cannot move forward or back. They are standing in the angle that you want to have it.
But it must be a big force with this pin that goes through the spreader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not small.
It has to be.
It's like this.
Very.
Yeah.
But how do you change the angle?
You find a blacksmith.
Yeah.
And he makes a new one with the right angle.
Okay.
That's how we do it. In the H-boat, it's like that. You have to do everything by yourself. It's not like you can go down to the supermarket and say, I would like to have a better spreader angle on my H-boat. You have to do it yourself and find somebody who can help you. If you, for example, take the new mast, John mast, they changed the system completely. So now they drill it inside.
It has to be very much exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
And there I had a lot of problem because a lot of my customers bought new masts and they got an angle saying 17. And they phoned me up and said, I cannot get the mainsail to work. So there's something wrong with your sails. I said, what have you done? I have bought a new mast. Okay, have you measured the angles here? No, he hasn't done that. Okay, please measure. And he measured, and then it was 17, and then they had to take the mast back to John Mast. Change it.
How important is this the tension of the
Uppers.
if there stays.
They are very important.
Yes.
Very important. When I came into the H-boat, I came from dragons, and I come from ynglings and stuff like that, where we were used to work a lot with the rig.
Yeah.
But in the H-boat, when I come in, it was not allowed to touch the rig doing racing. Only after racing you're allowed. So they changed that rule. So you are allowed to change the uppers and lowers even when you are sailing. And what I did when I came into the class is a lot of the helmsman was trimming the rig. So because it was after racing, it was not a problem, because the helmsman could go up and then trim the rig and then go down and then start and then sail again. But when they changed the rules that it's allowed to change on the downwind or whatever you want to change, then I immediately said, okay, my front guy have to do everything with the rig. So Frederik is my front. We have worked together. So I tell him what I like to have, and he knows exactly the numbers, how much he has to turn one way or the other way. And we even have made a drawing in the boat, you know, an arrow, so we know which way we are turning.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have drilled a little hole in the turnbuckles, so we know how many around. Because it's like that when you go from this setup to this setup. When you only have, I don't know what it calls, but if you only have give-in, you know, turnbuckles, in most of them have 2 give-ins in both ends, and we have only 1 going down in the tube. So therefore we have to turn 6 times to go from that number to that number, 6 times turn. And we have tested that with going out sailing and said, what are we doing? Now we go 6 turns and then we're in again, take the sails down, measure. I said, now it's perfect. But then we write it down in the boat. So we know exactly how many turns we have to do to get the numbers right, all the time. And when I'm sailing, for example, let's say we're sailing a regatta like the Worlds, and on the first upwind, we have about 8 meters per second. And then when we come up to the mark, put up the spinnaker and go downwind, the wind drops down. So immediately Frederik have all his tool here in his trousers. He pulled them up and said, we go from medium to light. As we go from this setup 3 to 8 meters, and now we only have 4 meters per second. So we change the rig to that setup for the next upwind.
Just to get it clear, is it allowed to do this during the race?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to know exactly where you are. And that's where we are using this one. I don't know, are you used to that? Have you seen that? That one? PT1 is it called? And that is all the numbers here comes from that one.
Yes.
So you have a scale here, so you can see how much tension you have on the wire, how many kilos you have a pressure on it. This one have to stay in the boat. It's always in our boat. As all the H-boat sailors doing racing around the worlds and whatever, they all have one of those. And all the trim guides in the world, North Sails, I don't believe Edmund had a trim guide. It was all about feelings. But we have a trim guide where we're using the PT1, and North Sails is using this one also. So everybody have this, like, you know, we are deciding to do this simple, so we have only one. And this is the one who works. And when I go around on the boats, I will come down and we can put some tension on the uppers and lowers and see where we are, just for fun, and see the numbers. But see if you can, I don't know who has that in Sweden, but if it's a problem, then you just phone me and I will find out where I can
Is
get
the
it.
brand loose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it different? We have an old type loose.
Yeah.
You know, the one with aluminum.
Yeah, that's not working.
We have 2.
Yeah, the problem.
Wanna buy?
The problem with that is that aluminium is getting, you know, you
Yeah.
will change it too much every time you pull to the spread, you will change it too much because then the aluminium get harder, and you have to pull a little bit more. Then you put more tension on here. You put it on the wire, and you just put it in
You
here.
have rollers over there,
Yeah.
which also means in the aluminum you have friction. You can get different
Here
values, readings.
it's like that. It's standing like this. You see it here, it's standing like this, and then you just push the mast a little bit so it gets, you know, a setting, and then you measure it out. So you have no hands on it.
No.
So
You can let it go around.
Another question. It has to be a very stiff boat, and I think an older boat may be more soft, and that might be bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what that is one of the good things with the H-boat is that it's built quite tough, and therefore they are quite stiff,
Yes.
even the old ones.
Yeah.
And I believe if you want to win the worlds, 84, 85, that's the minimum. If you go lower, then the boat are getting too old.
Too soft.
Yeah, they're getting too soft. And the problem is actually the mast is coming down through the roof.
Yeah.
There's a beam inside,
Yeah.
and that if you want to have it to work, you have to change that beam and put a new fresh wood in there.
Is this allowed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not allowed to put something underneath.
Yes.
That's not allowed. But it's allowed to put a new wood beam in, so you get the boat a little bit stiffer.
But could you use aluminium or
No,
no?
it has to be wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you have all the setup and you have all that gear set up, and that will take some time to know and learn. But one thing you can do quite quick is hike out. Hike.
Hang.
Yes.
That is one thing that's in our boat. When we need a little bit more speed, the guys are hanging a little bit more. That helps so much. So the problem with the H-boat is that the H-boat is very narrow in the front, and actually because it's so narrow in the front, it's a little bit like a keel. So the more you can get the boat to stand up, you more keel you have. So you less drift you have. So therefore, it's very important to sail the boat straight up like this. It must not heel over. Even in lighter winds, the boat have to stand up like this. Sometimes it's difficult in light winds because it gets so light on the helm. So you want to have a little bit of pressure, and therefore you go down in lee and get a little bit of pressure. That's okay. But as soon as you get a little bit of wind, they have to come up and sit. And I learned to sail the boat very upright, because when we sail in 4 meters per second, my guys are nearly hanging out on the side because we can power up the boat so much. So in 4 to 5 meters per second, they are hanging out. And that makes a big difference, because when the gusts are coming and hit the boat wants to heel. But immediately we have already 300 kilos out on the side. So the boat is not heeling. The boat is just going speed instead. And if you don't have the people sitting up there, the boat will heel up like that, and it goes like this before it comes up to speed. And then if you are sailing like this, you will go down like this, and the other one is going up like this. And the problem with the H-boat is it compared to other boats, it cannot go speed. It's not like you can ease the jib a little bit, ease the mainsail, and we go low and speed. That's not working. The H-boat is sailing the same speed if you're going that way or that way. So the fastest way is to point. You higher you can go, you quicker you come up to the mark. So therefore, it's very important to point in the H-boat and not to go low in speed. So what I'm saying, the difference is that if your people is hiking out and the boat is standing up like this and the gusts are hitting the boat will still go like this, and it will go speed. And the boat next to you, who is not hiking, they will go low. And and then they will come away.
But is it better to spill if you have you can tighten the it's better to loose the mainsail and point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the jib.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also the whole idea with sailing the 8-boat is also a little bit about feelings. You know, you're sitting with the helms. Immediately when you get pressure on the helm, you have to hike out, so the boat is light. Immediately when all 3 guys are hanging out, and you still get a little bit of weather helm, also it gets harder. Then you start to pull the backstay. And you are trimming all the time to get it light on the helm, all the time. It's so important that you get it light on the helm. So that is, yeah.
Is there an optimal heeling angle for H-boat?
Yeah, 0.
0. Okay. And what is the what can the crew weigh? Is it?
As the crew is allowed to weigh 300 kilos.
Okay.
And you have to be, you can be 4 or you can be 3.
Okay.
So that is quite good for the class, because then therefore we have a lot of small people who can sail because they can be 4 on the boat and come up to the weight. And out here, when you are racing out here tomorrow, it's not so important because you have flat water. So what you can do instead is you can point to get the boat straight. So go a little bit higher. So therefore you get the boat 0.
Okay.
But when you have waves, it's a hell of a lot different. Then you cannot point. The boat will. Therefore you have to hike out. Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah.
One, when you mean pointing, you don't do pumping with to gain higher.
No, the boat is too heavy.
Okay.
So it's like a train. You just go full speed. Yeah.
Second question. Where is the best place to hang out on the boat? Because it hurts as hell underneath.
Yeah. But that is because you're not doing it right.
Okay.
Because if you're doing it right, it's not the knees and the lower there's a problem. The problem is to coming up. See, that is the right way to do it. If you're hanging out there, you don't have any problem. But how can the guys hang out like that? That is because they have when you play football, you have Skinner, bin Skinner, you know here, you know the bin Skinner, so you know they have turned those down here on the legs and then put tape around. So when they are hiking out here, they have protection for, or else you get the blood will just, you know, and then you
Kill you.
yeah. So therefore, it's very important when you hike like that that you have protection for your legs, and I, you know, those guys, they don't know. They have always done that since they were, you know, 15. So they say we would like to hike out instead because we are sitting better. It's more relaxing to do this than do straight. So it's much more relaxed to sit there.
But if you have to do a quick tack, it's no.
Oh, you don't have a quick tack. you prepare. You prepare. As I will say one thing, those guys, they are really fit. And they go to the gym three times a week. And they are young, they are 29 and 28.
20.
And
Frederik is our son.
yeah.
So he's been sailing whole life, but when he was going up and too big for the Optimist and too big for the dinghies and so on, and then he started to sail the H-boat.
Yeah, we put him.
He was 15 years. And now he's nearly 30. So.
But it's we can have a look when you come down to your boats, and I can look where the hiking straps are. Yeah.
Yeah. So could you reason a little bit about gust response? You know, there's the option of pinching, and there's the option of depowering.
Yeah.
How do you, like, would you ever pinch? Like,
Yeah, I do. But what I like to do mostly is to ease the mainsail. So, yeah. So what what I normally do is if I have hick stay on, back stay on, you have an open mainsail in the top, and you cannot do anything more in the H-boat. It doesn't help to take it down on the traveler. Keep it up on the traveler. Put the wang, put in the mainsail, and then put a little bit of wang on. So when you ease the mainsail, the boom is not doing this, but the wang will hold it a little bit here, so it still opens up in the top. But when you do with the mainsail, it's so much quicker compared to pull the backstay. So what I do in my boat when I'm sailing, I have a mark on my backstay, and I pull it to my mark so the boat in normally winds are light on the helm. And when the gusts are coming, sometimes you can see it, but sometimes it's coming quite quick. Then I just ease the mainsail about 5 or 6 or 8 centimeters on the sheet, and the boat is getting light on the helm immediately, and the boat is not drifting. It stays on the course, and as soon as it's gone, I pull in again. So I work a lot on the mainsail. I'm sitting, and that is the whole speeder, and it's like, you have your tiller, so you can immediately feel when the boat is starting to get a little bit hard on the helm, then I start to ease.
And do you have fine tune on the main?
No.
I saw that there are some new ones.
Okay, but fine tune is fine. The only problem with fine tune is that it takes a little bit longer time, so you have to work a little bit quicker. But fine tune, you can have it in your hand, so you don't need to click it in the cleat. So that is fine. You easily do that.
So when do you pinch?
Yeah, that is when I'm sailing in flat waters, and I know it's just a quick one and it's gone. Instead of ease the mainsail, I have full power instead, and just put up and get the boat to go speed. And when I feel the boat is going slow, I ease the mainsail and go a little bit speed again. So because it's nice to pinch because you're coming up to the top mark. So as soon as you can, immediately when you still can have the same speed, then it's fine.
I'm just checking here. Does everybody understand the English terms here? Do you know what's?
I don't understand pinch. What's
that is i Danmark skærer vi op. Ja, gå en lille smule højere.
Lova.
Ja, lova. Ja.
Ja. Bara säg till om det är termerna ni inte...
Ja, lige præcis.
Bara sätt upp en hand så fixar vi.
Altså det har været meget sværere, hvis det havde været på dansk. but that is some things you have to know sailing the H-boat. You have to have control of your uppers and lowers. You have to know where the mast bend are. You have to know those things, and you have to hike out. Those 4 things you have to do. And so you cannot sail the H-boat if you're not hiking.
Wow.
and it's a sport. It have to be tomorrow when you are sailing 6 races tomorrow.
Wow.
When you are coming in, you have to feel, whoa, that was nice day on the water. Or else you haven't given yourself 100%. So it is quite tough to sail a H-boat.
So on the mainsail trimming, what do you do with Cunningham and H-båt?
Ja, altså der er et afsnit om Cunningham også, tror jeg. Okay. But Cunningham is okay. I'm not using Cunningham so much in my mainsail. It's not necessary because the shape is so much forward anyway. So it doesn't make any sense when you pull the backstay. It opens up and get the mainsail so flat anyway. So pulling the Cunningham helps so the sails look nice, but it's not like it's moving the shape. But if you have an older mainsail that have been sailing some years, it can help a lot to use the Cunningham, because our older mainsail, then the shape is already coming back. So you want to have the shape more forward, and therefore you can use your Cunningham. So on a new sail, doesn't make such big difference. Old sails, big difference. So if I was sailing with a little bit of older sails, I will have used Cunningham to get the shape more forward. And of course you have to ease it on the downwinds and all those. You have to remember. And therefore it's I have on my mainsail and on all the lines that have to be trimmed, I have marks. And one thing I don't know, it comes on the jib with all the marks for the jibs, how we do it. But we have marks. It's in the trim guide, yeah, but we have marks on the spreaders. So when I'm steering the boat, I have a window in the mainsail so I can see the marks on the spreaders. So I know when Frederik is hiking out, he never put the jib in his sheet, in the clip. He takes the jib sheet with him out and down on the side with him. So he always have it in his hand, because then he can hold to it also and makes it a little bit easier to come up. But he's holding it, and when I feel that we have too much, as the jib is closing too much and the helm is garlic and my mainsail is nice, then I could ask him to ease a little bit. And I have 2 marks up there, and they're standing in the trim guide. I think it's 40 centimeters and 45.5 centimeters.
Yeah.
And when we are sailing in heavier conditions, we are out to the 45.5. Lighter condition, we come in. But I'm still working sometimes in between, because it's all about the helm on the boat. Is it hard, or is it? Can I? Sometimes we are sitting there. It's not. Of course, we have done it a lot because we have sailed a lot, so you have it in your system. But sometimes you're testing and you're trying some things also. And sometimes I'm sitting with I said I can maybe get a little bit more jib, and Frederik is giving me a little bit more jib, and we are sailing, and then immediately you can feel the boat is slowing down. Oh, it was too much. Ease a little bit again, and then the boat is working again. So all those feeling is how many times you have been on the water and sailed with your boat, you will get those feelings. And the way you are doing it is to go out sailing and try it. Today, I don't know, but today you can have there are so many trims options on the new things with GPS and your watch and everything. So you can see the speed in the boat when you're sailing alone and trimming alone. You can have the speed, so you can see, okay, try to do this, do. And then I have a look on the speed and see if it's slowing down. And say, oh, it's slowing down, ease again, and it ease again. Oh, now it's in the same speed. And you have to, in medium conditions, the H-boats have to go 5 knots, 5.2, 5.3. If you're not doing that numbers, you have to trim to get the right. And that can be some of all the things we have. There's a problem. And a little good thing is that sometimes when you're sailing, tomorrow we will get some wind. And when you are steering the boat and you look down and lay, if your uppers and lowers are doing this, you don't have enough tension on the boat. You need more tension. So when you are sailing in those conditions tomorrow, it has to be tough in lay. It must not stand like this. Then it's too loose. And therefore we have this one, because then we know how much tension we have on your. And sometimes even when we have this, and you go out sailing, sometimes when we are sailing, we say, it's a little bit loose, and then we give it a 1 turn or 2 turns, and then boom, makes it a little bit different. And that is the fun with H-boat is, because people have done it so many years, it's so much fine-tuned, and it's the small things, 1.5 turns, 1 turn, or it makes a difference. You can feel it immediately. And that is that makes a lot of fun. It's not, you have to turn 6 or 8 times before you can feel it. You can feel it immediately when you change the setup. Bang, it goes. And what we use the uppers and lowers numbers for is to for example, tomorrow you have a condition saying we have so and so much wind. I will set up the medium condition, 37 on the uppers and 33 on the lowers, and start with that. And then when I go out, and then we come around the corner and look how much wind there is. There's a little bit more wind. Then I will give it a little bit more. And therefore it's very important that you know that you have to give it how many turns are you giving it to hit the next numbers. But sometimes we are in between. So it's all about a guideline to come to, to start one place, and maybe you're not ending there, but you're starting there and you work your way to another trim that's faster. And for example, this year when we were sailing the World's Championship in Austria, we had our trim guide. We had our trim guide set up as for 0 wind, 4 wind. But because it was so light, and we have those fresh water, the boat was sitting in the fresh water and will not. So we start in the end. We just ease up everything. So we went much further down on our numbers, because that was what we feel, that it gave us more power. So yeah.
Heter det vantskruv på danska? Vet du vad jag menar?
Ja, vandskruv.
Ja.
Ja.
Vad heter det på engelska?
Turnbuckle.
Turnbuckles.
Yeah. What do they look like when you can change them so easily? Normally they are quite fixed,
Yeah, there's 2 turnbuckles. You have those where you have, I don't know what you call it, but give in both ends.
Yeah.
And you have something between and you can turn.
Yeah, right.
There you have only half of the turns on those I have.
Exactly.
But those I have is something called Rongstad have made.
Okay.
And there's a turnbuckle in the top, and it just goes down like this, and only up.
Yeah.
There's nothing underneath, and it's sitting in a boat.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we have some pictures of it.
But how do you lock it?
There's a screw on the top also to lock it.
So someone has to run up, loosen the screw.
No, he has it in his fittings. So when he's sitting there and ease the rig, he has a big key and a small one.
Okay.
So the small one is holding and he turns, and the other one is the same number, so he just turns in the top also to lock it. And sometimes he just do it with the fingers to lock it.
The narrow tracks here are so short. Start to think about maybe I should grab this too.
Just a question. Fockens skördene. What is that in English or Swedish? Fockens skördena kryssas alltid.
Sheeting points.
Sheeting points.
Yeah. Fognskødes. Sheet. That is this here is because we do it like this. Kryds. Vi krydsskyder. So when you are sitting up, you don't have to go down and lay and trim the boat. You want to have 300 kilos on the side all the time. So if one crew is jumping in the boat to trim the jib, immediately the helm gets hard. So what we do, most of the boat today have crush sheeting. So he only goes up, he's sitting there with the sheet, and they just go up and sheet it in, and can do the same on the other side.
Do we change the foxscope is sideways? Normally I don't. I have one sheeting point for my medium jib and one sheeting point for my light jib, and it's one hole back and one hole forward. And when we come out, I can measure it up from you, but you are measuring from the pin of the forestay, and you lift up the block so it's standing up, and then you measure into the middle of the block, and it's 2, 8, 6 for the light, and one hole back, then it's 2, 8, 7 for the medium, and that's all I do.
But in
and out? No, all the way in, always. You never sheet out. If you sheet out, it's because you're sailing the boat different than anybody else. And that's fine. If you're fast, it's okay. But when you're sheeting out the jib, you have to remember, then you also have to get the mainsail with you out. Then it's fine. For example, sheeting out the jib and sheet out the main will make good sense if you have big waves. Because then it's not so important to point. It's more important to go straight and hold the boat upright. And immediately when you sheet out, the boat will standing up like this. You will not have so much weather pressure, because you're in Danish it's called slot. The difference between the jib, this is the jib, this is the mainsail. If you put the jib out here, the slot between the jibs, get bigger, and therefore the boat gets lighter on the helm.
Claus, I have a question.
Yeah.
Here we have lots of really light winds. Yeah. The kind of winds you never sail.
Like Australia.
No, but here, I mean, we often start with 1 meter.
Yeah.
When we are sailing between 1 and 3 meters, how do we get the boat going?
Loose, very loose rig. There is a trick. It's not standing in the trim guide, because some things I have to have for myself. So now I'm only telling you. But in the trim guide, there is not standing anything about the forestay. But actually, this one here can also help you doing the right tension on the forestay. So if you put this on the forestay, you can see how much tension you have on the forestay. So therefore you can compare all the other boats. See how much rig he has on, how much tension he has on the uppers and lowers, because you can put it on the forestay. So if you put this one on the forestay, and you have, could you go back to the scala? There. If you put this one on the forestay, and you have those measurements here on your uppers and lowers, you will have about 24, 25 on your forestay with this measurement. If you go this one, you have 28 or 29. And if you go this one, you have to hit the magic number. And there's not many boats who can do that. But the old soft boats will have problem to hit 32. So if you can hit with those numbers that 32 on this one, your boat is stiff. But if you cannot, maybe the setup is wrong, but it can also because the boat is a little bit soft. But now, Alex, your question. Axel, when you're sailing in very light winds, you have to go down to 20. And therefore, you have to loosen your uppers and lowers a lot. So instead of have 33, you can maybe have 25. And then 20 or 22 on your lowers. Therefore, you have a very much sag in the forestay, and you get much power in the jib. And therefore the boat will come up much quicker in those lighter conditions. The problem is with having that set up, as long as you're sailing those short courses, it's not a problem. But if you're sailing the World Championship where you have a long course and you have that set up and the wind is coming up, it's a nightmare. Because the whole thing is getting so deep and so overpowered. So even if you have 300 kilos out on the side, it's not enough. You need more. And the forestay will stand like this, and the jib will, have a lot of bad air coming in, and it's a nightmare. So this setup is super light, and super light is for Stockholm.
Yes. Stockholm conditions.
Stockholm conditions. We are sailing in super light. But it's about a good idea is if you learn your setups, then you can work. You see, if you know you have 28 on your lowers and 33 on your uppers, you can work down.
Yes.
And see, we try to go 25 or 22. That's how we work, and see what's happened.
Before we go to the speaker, another question about the jib. How do you work your halyard for the jib? How much tension?
Wow, that is because the thing is that because I'm not sheeting forward and back on my sheeting points. My sheeting points on the jib is always the same.
But what I do a lot is I work a lot on the helm, or on the halyard. Halyard, fallet. And we have a system. You see this line here? That is the halyard. So when he's hiking out there, he can change the arm. So he get the jib sheet in the other hand, and then he can ease the halyard. So if I need more power, he ease the halyard so the jib gets more deep, and therefore I got more power. As soonly I feel there's too much power, you pull up the halyard. There's one thing though that is very important when you are pulling in the halyard, is that you are pulling in the top of the jib. So when you have a lot of wind and a lot of gust, you know, then it's important not to pull it too much. The halyard must not be pulled too much. Actually, when you're sailing in tough conditions, it's nice to see a little bit of wrinkle in the jib. Because when you're pulling it in the top of the jib, you're closing the leech. So the more you pull in the halyard, you're more closing the jib, and your more boat is heeling over because it cannot go away with all the wind. So it gets tougher on the helm. So when you have your every number's right and it's still a little bit hard on the helm, sometimes it helps to ease the halyard on the jib a little bit, because then the jib is open up in the top, and then it's much easier to steer the boat. So we work a lot on the helm, and doing that you have to have a nice system how to work it. You have to have a fine tune that our fine tune is running on a traveler, so we can really work it hard. Yeah.
It seems like a compromise here with the sailor, because pulling the halyard will actually make the sail less full or flatter. But on the other hand, if you overpull it, you
close the leech.
Yeah. So it's a kind of a compromise.
Yes, it's finding the right
spot.
Yeah, the right spot.
Yeah.
And doing that is about marks, eh?
Yeah.
Marks on all the things. Yeah.
And is no one going with Cunningham on the ship?
No. No. It's too many rules. Keep it simple. It's very important. That's one thing I have worked a lot in the H-boat, is try to get it simple. Yeah.
This numbers was about 4 stays, yes?
Yeah.
And about side stays.
Yeah.
From the side the same or tension.
Yeah, also the sides could lead to
side stays.
Yeah, this here.
Yeah.
This here is overvand,
upper stay.
Upper stay. And this is lowers and uppers. Right? Uppers and lowers. Overvand or undervand.
And the forestay, you don't have the numbers there.
That is secret. Only you know.
Yeah, about the backstay, when you control, when you trim it.
That is all about the weather helm. Also how much as soon as you get a little bit of you have to pull the rudder a little bit to hold it on course. Then you start to pull but it's all like you can also pull it too much. Then everything is just Then you get too much what do you call it? Too much power in the mast. As if the mast is bending too much, the mast is doing this. So don't pull it too hard. Put it to a mark. I have 3 marks, and I work. Being all those things we are doing here is things you have to do when you are training. So you learn and say, now I have time. I pull in the backstay and I make a mark. Say, this is the first mark. And then we pull a little bit more. I have 5 centimeters between my 2 marks, or 3 marks. And I have 5 or 6 centimeters. I have 3 marks on the main sheet. And I have a mark on the jib and a mark on everything. So the things with the marks are when you are pulling up the spinnaker and you sail downwind, all the marks are 0. And then you come down the bottom mark and you had a good speed. So it's about coming back to the marks quick as you are in the top. So when I'm steering the boat, I said I will. When I went the top mark, I will mark 2 or 3 on the main sheet. So therefore, sometimes I just look down and say, oh, I have to sheet in a little bit. And then I sheet into mark 2 and then the boat goes again. So all the marks about getting the right setup quickly. And therefore you can work. Sometimes you're less powered or more powered. You work with the settings.
How do you use traveler for mainsail?
I have the short system. You know, that's the long one. And mine is always up to leeward. Always. There is in the trim guide a little bit of measurement how you can do it. But if it is about 14 centimeters from the middle up, so the whole wang is up from the middle. And what I'm looking at is the boom. I want to have the boom in the middle. So as soon as I can get the boom in the middle, I'm happy.
So that is regardless of wind strength?
Yeah.
Okay.
The boom is in the middle all the time. And the problem is when you are sailing and the gusts are coming like this, you have to ease the mainsail. And therefore the boom goes down in lee. Therefore you can take the traveler a little bit further up. So when you ease the mainsail, it's in the middle. Always keep it in the middle. That is what I'm looking at. And in a lot of wind, you can actually take the traveler down to the middle and have it because you're sheeting so hard in the mainsail. So the boom is not moving any side, it's still staying in the middle. I have on my boom I have some lines on the blocks. So when I'm sheeting in, the 3 blocks are really close to each other. So there's no work if you higher up your blocks are on the boom, you have to pull on the traveler to get the boom up in the middle.
The kick.
You can see here. You can see the lines here. How long they are.
But when you kick down the kicker,
the wang.
Kick.
Yeah.
No. I'm not talking about the wang. I'm talking about this
kicking strap.
Kicking strap. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do with this one?
The kicking strap I'm using in a lot of wind. When I have to ease the mainsail, I pull in the kicking strap. So I'm doing that. I'm sheeting in the mainsail where I want to have it. Then I ask Frederik to tighten up the kicking strap so it's tight, and then I ease the mainsail, and then it's really strong, so it holds the boom same as a straight. The only thing when you do that, you have to remember to let it go before the top mark, or else the boom is.
Yes. Okay.
So that is very important.
It's very big forces.
Yeah. So the problem is if you forgot and you ease the mainsail off, the spinnaker, and we have made some how you are setting it, and that is a little bit easier when I come out to the water today and see how you're working on the spinnaker to get it down. But we nearly, as we can, always have it in port side, because you're always going around the marks on port. And it's so important, it's so difficult to take the spinnaker up like that and go up with it and throw it out. It will always be chaos. So always try to get it down in port side, because when you are sailing, because when you're sailing today, we always go around the marks on bow. So therefore, and even if you're coming down to the marks and you have the spinnaker out to loop, and you have to go around the marks, we always take it down, even if it's to loop or lee. You understand?
Yes.
To loop here. If we want to have it down, we take it down now. Yeah, and the way we do it is that we have a name in our boat calling human pool. So what we do is I get the spinnaker sheet and trim the spinnaker. The guy who's normally Frederik, who's trimming the spinnaker, goes up on the forestay and hold the spinnaker sheet out like this. And Frederik is taking the spinnaker pool down, and he can hold it out like a human pool. And then when he's close up to the mark, he takes the spinnaker with him down. and down in the cockpit.
Stiligt.
Eh? That is how we take it down to leeward, and lay is just ease and then down. But that is very that is things you have to do when you are training. And like today, there's things you have to do today because today.
Han var med att översätta till svenska.
Eller danska.
Ja. Men, så när man vill ta ner spinnaken, ta alltid ner spinnaken i babord, även om det innebär att riva spinnaken i lovart. Och om man river spinnaken i lovart, så som ni jobbar då, det är att den som skotar går upp tillsammans med den andra personen som är fördäcksgast på fördäcket. Och så tar man en mänsklig spinnakabom, så håller han ut den. Och sen så styr du ner på platt, och i samband med det här så styr du ner på platt, ganska platt läns. Ja. Och sen så tar han med sig den och river den i lovart. Så han håller i den och drar med den i lovart.
Ja, och jag slägger in.
Ja, och då, samtidigt så släpper han då länsfoten.
Och när tar du spinnakabommen?
Ja, exakt.
Innan. Alltså, hvad er det, 10 bådslængder eller sådan noget før mærket.
Ja.
Altså, if there's no traffic, it's easier to just get it away, so you're ready. If it's traffic, you have to be a little bit more careful, so so the spinnaker not collapse, so you miss your overlap. So it's all about if it's traffic or not traffic. Today with those short courses, there will be a lot of traffic. So it's so important to have your right of way. So therefore, but if you're good at it and you have a lot of, we have trained it a lot, so we can just take it down as 100 meters before the mark. It's not a problem. And Rasmus is just standing there and hold the spinnaker out, and he has the hand on his wire, his uppers, hold the uppers and lean out like this and hold it out like that. Yeah, and then he just take it with him down, and it's so much quicker because when you take it with you down, you can take it around the spreaders and there's no problem. But sometimes we have to take it from the cockpit. It always hit the spreaders and sitting there, so he has to go up and get it free and get it out.
And here, let's say, when sailing out at the big sea where stable winds, this is quite easy.
Yeah, but not
here. You might get a shift of 20 or 30 degrees just before the mark.
Yeah,
then this can be a
little
bit
it
challenging.
Down. Yeah, take it down. but trimming the spinnaker, we are sailing today with big spinnakers, so very deep up in the top because we are only sailing downwind. So we don't need reaching spinnakers. So we're only sailing with big tops and very powerful up in the top. And therefore, it's so important that the spinnaker pool is not too much down. It has to come up and pointing about 20, like we have it here, as a like 20, 30, 40 centimeters from a straight line up. To lift up the sheet, to lift up the sheet so it comes up so the 2 points here are the same, always the same.
A question: the point where the spinnaker pole hits the mast, is it fixed?
Yes. It's fixed.
And you have to have this in every boat where it has to be the same.
I think it's very close to be the same.
Yes.
It's a one design class.
Yes. Has to be.
Yes, yeah. So it's not a big difference. I don't believe. Maybe it's 10 centimeters, or it's not like a huge difference.
Yes.
Maybe some of the old boats is a different, but not if you take from 84 and up. Then it's always the same. Yes.
Yeah, this is just a bit of a side, but I have a vague recollection that you're not allowed to hold the jib out by hand.
The spinnaker.
No, yeah, but if we're talking about human poles here,
yeah,
I'm not sure that you're allowed to hold the jib outside of the boat. If you were to like do wing on wing on something or something.
Well, why should I hold the jib out?
If you were doing wing on wing on strong winds and you don't have barber holes or I don't know, but
I don't know either.
No.
We can have a look into that.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. So I was just.
So what you are thinking is that when it's so much wind, you're not allowed to take the jib out and sail butterfly with the jib. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Hold it by hand.
Hold it by hand.
Back
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that. But we can have a look at that.
It's okay to.
Yeah.
Since we're always just saying downwind, will the spinnaker ever get old? I mean, will you see an old and spinnaker be getting old too?
It can only sail one season.
That's your honest opinion.
No, my honest is, of course, the spinnaker clause is quite soft. It's very light, and it's not on minimum, but it's 40 grams per square meters, so it's quite light, and therefore when you make a cross cut up here in the top, you're going out of the thread. So it's the spinnaker will never damage here. It will never get old at the bottom, but in the top section, if you look at your leech, sometimes it will do like this, because it has been stretching out, because there's so much power up here at the top. And why are we doing this? Is simply because we want to have so much deepness up in the top of the spinnaker. And if you make it radial cut, then it's so difficult to get so much shape up there. Therefore, we make cross-cut spinnakers to get the shape up. And therefore, if you have sailed 2 seasons with a spinnaker, you will start to have problem with the top of the spinnaker. That is sailed as a roll out.
But you will have a little more area.
Yeah.
Every season you will.
Oh yeah. Every season you get a little bit slower. So in the end, it's about now we are too slow. Now we have to buy a new one. and the most of them, I think most is 2 seasons. If you're sailing the circus.
Asking that from experience that the main and the jib they wear out much faster than the.
Oh yeah, much quicker. Yeah.
I have 2 questions I would like your opinion on. One is the downhole on the spinnaker boom.
Yeah.
Some people don't have it.
No.
And the other is, do you always lower the jib when you're sailing with spinnaker, or do you keep it up sometimes? How do you reason? How do you?
If you take the barber hole first, the downhole on the spinnaker.
No.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't have this downhole on the spinnaker boom, you have to have your barber holes quite more forward.
Yes.
Or else the spinnaker boom will do this.
Exactly.
But the question was if you always take down the jib.
Yeah, there was 2 questions. And yes, we always take down the jib as long as we have a guy on the foredeck.
As long as we
have the guy sitting there.
Yeah.
Because when you get more wind,
yeah,
you're not allowed to go up on the foredeck.
No.
When we are sailing in 10 to 15 meters per second with spinnaker downwind, we are all 3 sitting in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Both barber hole down,
yeah,
and all 3 are sitting where the Løjgang is.
Yeah.
Because the boat is doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Therefore, we don't take the jib down.
No. Okay.
We let it stay up.
Yeah.
And why we take the jib down is because in light medium condition, it makes the spinnaker a little bit more easier to trim.
Yeah.
And I should not say it, but now I say it anyway. And it's not damaged the jib. You see, the spinnaker sheet here is going up of the jib. If you look at your jib,
yeah,
there's wrinkles
yeah,
up there, and that is from the spinnaker sheet.
Yeah.
So when you are sailing with the jib up, it gets rolling out quicker compared to if you take it down.
Okay.
So that's why we take it down to trim the spinnaker easier, and so it's not got all those wrinkles in it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then when we are sailing, we always have in lighter condition and medium condition, we always have a guy sitting in front of the rig. And myself is all the way forward, and
Rasmus is all the way full. We want to lift up the boat. We have trained and test a lot to take Frederik all the way out here in the front. So we are really saying like this, and that is very fast in medium conditions, because it's like when you get the guy out there in the front, the boat wants to go low. So it's like, you know, like a windsurfer now. It goes alone. It will go low, and therefore you will be pushed down when you have guys sitting out there instead. So you're not going too high. So exactly. you can come down to the mark. But as soon as you get light winds, you want to reach a little bit. And if the guy is sitting out there, you have to use too much rudder to push the boat up. So it's easier to get him back in the boat so I can reach a little bit. But as soon as you get 4 to 5 meters, you know, when it's easy to trim the spinnaker, then it's the time to get the guy out there. When it starts to get a little bit tricky, you take them back.
In the very light wind in Austria, there were a lot of people that were moving really forward in the light wind and the downwinds. You can see, and that could be a mistake then. You say.
I think I tried it. But we went back again because I didn't like it, because I have to have used the rudder too much because when he's sitting out there, it's 110 kilos sitting out there in the front, and it's like you take the rudder out of the water. So it's difficult to trim. But what we do can help you a little bit in the lighter condition. I know it's not so friendly, but we actually have a guy in the cabin when it's light winds.
Reading the newspaper.
All
the way down.
We work a lot where you have to be. For example, when we sailed in Australia and the wind really dropped, he was all the way out in the front, laying out there. And he said, "This is not nice. I cannot see anything. What's happening?" But as soon as we get more light conditions, not super light, but light conditions, then he's sitting in the Scott, so he can look out of the windows, and he can help me because he can look see what's happened behind my back. So Frederik is trimming the jib, and Rasmus is looking out of the windows and sitting all the way in the front. So we work a lot on the weight of the boat, where it have to be. For example, where do you all have your anchor? The anchor is 7 kilos, I think. Where do you have your anchors?
Front.
All the way in the front. Okay. And in heavy condition, always all the. You don't take it back. No, you should. We have it all the way in the front in lighter stuff, and as more we are hiking out, the more we take the anchor back. And the end, it's sitting underneath the cockpit. They're all the way there at the bottom. You know where we had the back, the big box. There's the anchor, and the box is of course out. So we move the weight a lot in the boat to try to work as much as we can. Yeah, it's and there you can. I look tomorrow. Tomorrow you all is hiking like that. Yeah, and you can see the difference. See if you're not hiking, how much the boat is heeling over compared to when it's hiking. It's good balance and really bad. And there you can immediately how much I have to pull the rudder. I have to take the rudder, and as soon as you start to work with the rudder, the boat is slowing down.
And your boat name automatically changed to that speed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I wonder one detail. You should have this. It is close to the window, close to the.
Yeah, it's all the way into the window.
Yes,
the track. And I actually, when I bought the boat, I have this Hagen system on, and it is of course very smart. So The problem was I couldn't get the jib knocking, so I actually got the old nice system that was made. You know, the little bit track where you can get it all the way in. The track is not bigger than this, and then you have a little slide inside. It's very simple and very nice. Yeah. Yeah. And that is actually what we talk about, time on the water, and that is how we are sailing when we are in Italy. This is Lake Garda, so start to train on the water, be good, and then come next time to Lake Garda and sail, and you will have condition like this. It's very, very nice. Yeah. This is a little bit about trimming, and we have been into it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just
for the pictures.
nice pictures. Tomorrow, and a lot of training, and you will be successful. Time on the water. We are not spending so much time on the water now, but in the beginning we spent a hell of a lot of time. I was so lucky in my little club that we have a guy called Morten Nielsen who have been sailing the H-boat for 40 years. And we learned a lot of sailing with him, and we did it in the winter time, training the whole winter, 2 boats, every Saturday. And in the end, we got it to work, and now we stopped training. So we have to do something in the winter time. So I bought a dinghy. So I sail dinghy in the winter time to keep in shape. Yeah. Any questions? But then I think we will have.
A question: is it on this boat you have on the mainsail in the front? Is it not? It looks like a little bit less tension.
The wrinkles there. Yeah. That's how I like to have it. If you look at the shape, the shape is all the way forward here. Look, the shape in the mainsail is all the way forward. If you have an old mainsail, the shape will have been here. Then it makes sense to pull the Cunningham in those conditions. When the shape is much forward, you will not gain anything pulling the Cunningham.
So you like
the only problem with the Cunningham is you will forget it when you are up at the top mark to ease it.
The outhole in when you're pointing, boom.
Yeah.
Why do you adjust this?
Sometimes, and sometimes not. It's about if I have enough power in the boat, I stay with the marks, and if I feel I need a little bit more power, I ease. For example, when we were sailing in Austria on those fresh water, the boat is so much heavy in that fresh water compared to salt water. So you feel that you need power all the time. So every time we tacked and the boat started to come up to speed, Frederik eased the outhole on the mainsail to get it really deep. And as soon as we get the boat to go in speed, he starts to pull it out and make it flatter and flatter and flatter. And then when the boat, if it stopped again, we ease the halyard a little bit. But when we are sailing in salty conditions out here, we never touch it.
Not for downwinds either.
No.
This is not salty. It's fresh water.
Okay, but then you ease. But not today, and tomorrow there will be a lot of wind.
Let's give a big hand for this.